You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. These profound words from Marcus Aurelius hold a timeless truth. Have you ever felt trapped in a cycle of stress, emotional turmoil, or attachment to things you cannot control? Perhaps it's the weight of expectations, the constant need to keep up, or the lingering pain of letting go. If this resonates with you, you're not alone. Many of us struggle to find peace in a world full of chaos. The good news: the ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers a way forward. For centuries, philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus have shared powerful tools to help us navigate life's challenges with clarity and resilience. In this video, we'll explore 7 practical Stoic principles designed to help you detach from unnecessary burdens, reclaim your inner peace, and embrace a more meaningful life. From learning how to focus on what you can control to mastering the art of emotional detachment, each step is a guide to transforming how you approach both the everyday and the extraordinary. By the end, you'll have actionable insights to calm your mind, let go of what holds you back, and live with greater purpose. So stay with me until the end, because the last principle might just be the one that changes everything. And if you're new here, welcome to Stoic Teachings Today. If you find value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's begin our journey to finding peace through Stoicism. Number 1. Focus only on what you can control. In life, we often feel trapped in a cycle of frustration, stress, and disappointment, constantly struggling with things that refuse to go our way. We worry about how others perceive us, replay past conversations in our minds, and anxiously anticipate problems that haven't even happened yet. We try to control people, outcomes, and events that are ultimately beyond our grasp. And in doing so, we exhaust ourselves mentally and emotionally. But what if the key to peace wasn't found in controlling more, but in letting go of what we were never meant to control in the first place? This is where Stoicism offers one of its most powerful lessons: the ability to shift our focus from the external world, which is unpredictable and uncertain, to our internal world, the only thing truly within our control. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle: some things are within our control and some things are not. These are the words of Epictetus, a former slave who rose to become one of the most influential Stoic philosophers. He understood that suffering comes not from external events themselves, but from our desire for those events to be different than they are. Think about your own life. How often do you feel frustrated because of someone else's actions? A friend who cancels plans last minute, a boss who overlooks your hard work, a stranger who is rude for no reason. These moments feel personal, but the truth is, they rarely are. People act based on their own nature, their own priorities, and their own perceptions of the world. You cannot control how someone else behaves. You can only control how you choose to respond. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced relentless challenges, understood this deeply. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." No matter how chaotic the world became around him, he knew his inner state was his own to govern. He refused to be shaken by circumstances beyond his control, choosing instead to master his own reactions. Imagine a situation where you've worked tirelessly on an important project. You've put in the hours, double-checked every detail, and given your best effort. But when the time comes to present your work, your audience seems indifferent. They barely acknowledge your effort. Your first instinct might be frustration. Why don't they appreciate what I've done? But the Stoic mindset offers a different perspective. Your work, your dedication, your preparation, these are within your control. How others respond, that is not. Now, consider how much energy you spend worrying about things that are completely outside your control. The traffic that makes you late, the weather that ruins your plans, the opinions that others hold about you. These things do not belong to you. And yet, by resisting them, by wishing they were different, you create unnecessary suffering. Instead of trying to control the uncontrollable, imagine what would happen if you redirected that energy toward the things you can influence. Your thoughts, your actions, your habits, your mindset. When you do this, something remarkable happens. You become lighter, freer, less burdened by stress and anxiety. You stop reacting impulsively to every little inconvenience, and instead, you learn to respond with wisdom and clarity. Try this simple exercise. Write down 3 things that have been causing you stress. Then, for each one, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, make the conscious choice to let it go. If the answer is yes, focus your energy on taking action. Over time, this practice rewires your mind. You learn to release attachment to outcomes you cannot dictate. You build resilience. You cultivate inner peace. This is not passivity. It is power. It is the power to stop fighting unwinnable battles, the power to focus only on what matters, the power to become unshaken by external chaos because your strength comes from within. The moment you stop trying to control what was never yours to control in the first place, you will feel a profound shift. Stress will no longer dictate your life. Anxiety will lose its grip, and in its place you will find the kind of deep, unshakable peace that no external force can ever take away. Because in the end, it's not about controlling life, it's about mastering yourself. Number 2, reframe pain as a teacher. Pain is an inevitable part of life. No matter who you are or what you do, you will face disappointment, failure, loss, and hardship. These moments test you. They shake your confidence, challenge your beliefs, and make you question your path. But the Stoics believe that pain is not something to be feared. It is something to be learned from. Pain, if you allow it, can be your greatest teacher. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body, wrote Seneca. He understood that adversity is not an obstacle to a good life. It is the very thing that shapes one. Every hardship, every setback, every moment of emotional pain is an opportunity for growth. It forces you to reflect, adapt, and become stronger than before. This is why Stoics embraced discomfort rather than avoiding it. They saw it as a forge, refining the soul like fire tempers steel. Think about a time in your life when you experienced deep emotional pain. Maybe it was the loss of a relationship, a career setback, or a personal failure that left you feeling lost and broken. In the moment, it felt unbearable. But if you look back now, you might see something different. You might see that pain shaped you. Maybe it made you more resilient. Maybe it forced you to let go of something that no longer served you. Maybe it redirected you toward a path that ultimately brought more meaning to your life. Pain reveals what truly matters. It exposes your weaknesses, your attachments, and your fears. It forces you to confront truths you may have been avoiding, and in doing so, it gives you the chance to rebuild, stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true self. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced immense personal and political struggles, wrote in Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is a profound reminder that obstacles are not there to stop us. They are there to guide us. The pain you experience is not a dead end. It is a doorway. The moment you stop resisting it and start seeing it as a teacher, everything changes. Imagine two people going through the same painful event. Let's say a breakup. One person spends months consumed by resentment, replaying every conversation, feeling trapped in anger and sadness. The other, though heartbroken, takes the experience as an opportunity for reflection. They examine what went wrong. They learn about their own emotional patterns. They grow from the experience and become better for it. Same pain, different outcome. The difference? One person resisted pain, while the other allowed it to teach them. The Stoics understood this deeply. They practiced a mindset called Amor, Fati, which means love of fate. Instead of merely accepting pain, they embraced it as a necessary part of life's journey. They trained themselves to see every hardship as a lesson, every setback as an opportunity to strengthen their character. Applying this principle to your own life starts with a simple shift in perspective. The next time you experience pain, whether it's emotional, physical, or mental, pause. Instead of immediately labeling it as bad, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? How can I use this experience to grow? This shift alone will change your relationship with suffering. Instead of seeing it as something to escape from, you will start to see it as something to transform you. This doesn't mean pain won't hurt. It will. But by reframing it, you remove its power to destroy you. You become less reactive, more resilient, and ultimately, more at peace. The pain that once felt unbearable becomes something you can face with courage, because you know it has purpose. Try this practice. The next time you go through something difficult, write it down. Reflect on the lesson hidden within the experience. Over time, you'll start to see a pattern. Your greatest growth always comes from your greatest struggles. And when you realize this, pain stops feeling like an enemy. It becomes an ally. Because in the end, life isn't about avoiding suffering. It's about learning from it. Number 3. Practice Amor Fati. Amor Fati, the love of fate, is one of the most powerful Stoic principles for letting go. It is more than mere acceptance of life's events. It is an embrace of all that happens, good or bad, as necessary and beneficial. It is the belief that every experience, no matter how painful or unexpected, is meant to shape us into the person we are destined to become. This is not passive resignation. It is an active decision to see life as happening for us, not to us. Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happens the way it happens. Then you will be happy, said Epictetus. These words hold the key to true inner peace. Most suffering does not come from the events of life themselves, but from our resistance to them. When we reject what is, when we fight against reality, we create unnecessary pain. Amor Fati is the antidote. It teaches us to release resistance, surrender to the present moment, and trust that everything, even hardship, has a purpose. Imagine losing a job. going through a breakup, or facing an unexpected setback. The instinctive reaction might be frustration, anger, or despair. Why is this happening? Why now? Why me? But if you shift your mindset and practice Amor Fati, the question changes. Instead of asking why something is happening, you ask, how can this serve me? What lesson is hidden within this experience? The loss of a job might open the door to a better opportunity. A failed relationship might lead to personal growth that makes you stronger for the future. A setback might force you to pause and reevaluate your path, ultimately guiding you in the right direction. Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the greatest practitioner of Stoicism, faced endless difficulties: wars, political betrayals, the loss of children. Yet he embraced it all. In his meditations he wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." This is Amor Fati in action. Life throws challenges at you, not to break you, but to fuel your growth. Everything can be turned into wisdom. Everything can make you stronger. To apply Amor Fati in your daily life, start small. The next time something doesn't go as planned, when you get stuck in traffic, when your flight is delayed, when a project doesn't get the recognition it deserves, pause. Instead of frustration, remind yourself, this is happening for me, not to me. Take a deep breath and ask, how can I use this? Over time, this simple shift in thinking transforms your relationship with life. You stop seeing difficulties as punishments and start seeing them as opportunities. The most powerful way to strengthen this mindset is through reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to think about the events that unfolded, the good and the bad. Instead of categorizing them as successes or failures, view them as necessary pieces of your journey. What did you learn? How did you grow? How will this serve you in the future? When you approach life in this way, you develop an unshakable calm. No matter what happens, you remain steady, knowing that every moment is exactly as it should be. This is the true power of Amor Fati. It does not mean you won't experience pain. It means that pain will never be wasted. It will always serve a purpose. It will always move you forward. And when you truly embrace this philosophy, nothing in life can ever truly defeat you, because you have already chosen to love all of it. Number 4, master your inner dialogue. The way you speak to yourself shapes the way you experience life. Every thought, every internal dialogue either strengthens you or weakens you. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never be able to let go, that life is unfair, those thoughts become your reality. But if you train your mind to see challenges as opportunities, to reframe pain as growth, and to speak to yourself with wisdom and reason, you create a mindset of resilience and inner peace. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking, wrote Marcus Aurelius. This is the essence of mastering your inner dialogue. The world outside is chaotic, unpredictable, and often unfair. But the voice inside you, that is yours to control. The Stoics understood that suffering does not come from external events. It comes from our interpretation of them, and that interpretation is shaped by our thoughts. Think about the last time something upset you. Maybe someone criticized your work, or a friend didn't respond to your message, or a plan didn't go the way you hoped. What was your immediate thought? Was it frustration, self-doubt, anger? The truth is, it wasn't the event that caused the distress. It was the way your mind processed it. The voice in your head added meaning to it. It told you a story. They don't appreciate me. I must have done something wrong. This is unfair. But what if you controlled that voice? What if, instead of reacting with negativity, you responded with wisdom? Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle applies to every moment of your life. Instead of allowing your thoughts to control you, take control of them. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, is this thought helping me or harming me? If it is not useful, let it go. Replace it with something better. Instead of, "This is a disaster," say, "This is a lesson." Instead of, "I can't handle this," say, "I am capable and will find a way." To truly master your inner dialogue, start with awareness. Throughout the day, listen to your thoughts. Are they supportive or are they tearing you down? Are they rational or are they driven by fear and insecurity? Once you recognize negative thought patterns, you can replace them. Instead of being a victim of your own mind, you become its master. A powerful Stoic exercise for this is journaling. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not for the world, but for himself, to train his thoughts, to keep his mind disciplined. You can do the same. Each day, write down your most persistent thoughts. Question them. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this useful? How would a Stoic respond? Over time, this practice rewires your thinking, helping you develop a calmer, more rational mind. Another technique is visualization. When you find yourself overwhelmed by emotions, pause. Picture yourself as a philosopher, observing your own thoughts. Imagine your mind as a vast sky and your thoughts as passing clouds. Some are dark and stormy, others are light and calm. But none of them define you. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. And as an observer, you have the power to let go of what does not serve you. The ultimate goal of Stoicism is not to suppress emotions, but to master them, to respond with reason rather than react impulsively, to train the mind so that no external event can shake your inner peace. When you control your inner dialogue, you control your life. So, starting today, take control of your thoughts. Speak to yourself with wisdom. Choose words that empower you, not words that limit you. And remember, true freedom is not found in changing the world, but in changing the way you think about it. Number 5. Detach from emotional reactions. Your emotions are not the problem. It's your attachment to them that creates suffering. The Stoics understood that emotions, like passing storms, are temporary. They arise, they intensify, and then they fade. But when we allow ourselves to be consumed by them, when we identify too closely with every surge of anger, frustration, or sadness, we lose control of our inner peace. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment, wrote Marcus Aurelius. This is the core of emotional detachment, not suppressing emotions, but seeing them for what they are, fleeting reactions that we can observe rather than be controlled by. Imagine someone cutting you off in traffic. Instantly, frustration flares up. Your mind rushes to judgment. How dare they? People are so inconsiderate. But what has truly happened? A car changed lanes. That's it. The story your mind attaches to it, the assumption that it was personal, the idea that it was unjust, is what creates suffering. The event itself is neutral. You have the power to let it go. Seneca said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." Often, our emotional reactions are based on imagined fears, exaggerated assumptions, or wounds from the past. We replay arguments in our heads. We dwell on things that upset us days or even years ago. But what if, instead, we learn to step back? What if, rather than immediately reacting, we paused? A powerful Stoic practice for detaching from emotions is the view from above. Picture yourself floating above your life, seeing everything from a higher perspective. That argument, a small blip in the grand scheme of things. That mistake, just one lesson among thousands in your lifetime. When you zoom out, your emotions lose their grip on you. Another way to practice detachment is through delayed reaction. The next time you feel an emotional surge, anger, frustration, sadness, don't respond immediately. Count to 10. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself, I am not my emotions. I am the observer of my emotions. This small pause creates space between feeling and action. It allows you to choose how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. Think about your relationships. How often do emotional reactions create conflict? A misunderstanding turns into an argument because neither person steps back. But if you detach, if you pause, reflect, and respond with wisdom instead of emotion, you prevent unnecessary suffering. You create space for understanding, for patience, for clarity. In your daily life, start observing your emotions. When frustration arises, ask, is this worth my peace? When sadness lingers, ask, am I holding on to something I need to release? Emotional detachment doesn't mean indifference, it means freedom. Freedom from unnecessary suffering. Freedom from being at the mercy of every fleeting feeling. So, beginning today, practice stepping back. Be the calm within the storm. Let emotions rise and fall without letting them define you, because true strength is not found in suppressing emotions, but in mastering them. Number 6. Set boundaries without guilt. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it's necessary. The ability to say no without guilt is a skill rooted in self-respect and wisdom. Yet many of us struggle with it. We fear disappointing others. We worry about being seen as cold or unkind. We believe that saying yes to everything makes us more valuable, more liked, more accepted. But in reality, failing to set boundaries only leads to exhaustion, resentment, and a loss of control over our own lives. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus. The fear of judgment often stops us from asserting our needs, but the truth is, people's opinions are beyond our control. Trying to please everyone is a futile pursuit, one that drains your energy and leaves you feeling empty. The Stoics remind us that our responsibility is to act in accordance with reason and virtue, not to live up to others' expectations. Imagine this. You're at work, already overwhelmed with tasks, and a colleague asks for help. You don't want to be rude, so you agree, even though it means staying late and sacrificing personal time. Later, you feel frustrated, not with them, but with yourself for not standing your ground. This pattern repeats in friendships, relationships, and even family dynamics. Over time, your own needs take a back seat, and you begin to lose a sense of self. Seneca wrote, "Associate only with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." This is the essence of setting boundaries, choosing where to invest your time and energy wisely. Not every request deserves a yes. Not every demand warrants your attention. Your life is valuable and your time is limited. Saying no to things that drain you means saying yes to what truly matters. The key to setting boundaries without guilt is to recognize that doing so is an act of self-discipline, not selfishness. When you protect your time and energy, you become a better friend, a better partner, a better professional, because you're not constantly depleted. You show up fully where it truly counts. One practical way to practice this is by implementing the Stoic pause. When someone makes a request of you, don't answer immediately. Instead, take a breath. Ask yourself, does this align with my values? Do I genuinely have the time and energy for this? If the answer is no, respond with kindness but firmness. I appreciate you asking, but I can't commit to this right now. No long explanations, no apologies, just a clear, respectful boundary. Boundaries also apply to how we allow others to treat us. If someone constantly dismisses your feelings, if they demand more than they give, if they make you feel small, step back. Not every relationship deserves a front row seat in your life. You are not obligated to maintain connections that drain you. Respect yourself enough to walk away when necessary. A useful exercise is to reflect on areas where your boundaries are weak. Ask yourself, where in my life do I feel overwhelmed or resentful? Who or what consistently drains my energy? What is one small boundary I can set today to protect my peace? This could mean declining a request that stretches you too thin. It could mean putting your phone on silent after a certain hour. It could mean limiting time spent with people who bring unnecessary negativity. The small boundaries you set daily add up to a life of clarity, peace, and self-respect. By practicing this, you take back control. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You stop saying yes out of obligation and start saying yes only when it aligns with your values. And the beauty of it all? The more you do this, the more others respect your time, because you respect it first. Letting go is not just about releasing emotional attachments. It's about protecting the space where true fulfillment grows. Boundaries are not barriers. They are a declaration of what you will and will not allow into your life. They are an act of self-mastery. And once you embrace this, you'll find that peace is no longer something you chase. It's something you naturally cultivate within. Number 7, move forward with purpose. Moving forward is not just about leaving the past behind. It's about stepping into the future with intention. Too often, we let our past define us. We dwell on mistakes, replay regrets, and carry emotional burdens that weigh us down. But Stoicism teaches us that life is not meant to be lived looking backward. The only thing we truly own is the present moment and how we choose to act within it. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius. Fear holds us back. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. But what's even more terrifying is living a life dictated by hesitation, trapped in the same patterns, never taking control of our own direction. The Stoics remind us that we cannot allow the past or our fears to dictate our future. Instead, we must move forward with purpose. Think about a time when you hesitated to take action, perhaps a job opportunity, a conversation you avoided, or a dream you pushed aside because of self-doubt. Now ask yourself, was the fear real, or was it a creation of my own mind? More often than not, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca put it best. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The anxiety we feel about the future The hesitation to step outside our comfort zone is nothing more than a mental construct. When we break free from it, we gain clarity. But how do we move forward with purpose, rather than just going through the motions? The answer lies in defining our why, our reason for action. The Stoics were not passive philosophers, they were men of action. They believed that philosophy should not be confined to books, but should be lived daily. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Meaning, we don't just think about what we want, we take the steps to make it real. A practical way to do this is by applying the concept of the last time. Imagine this is the last time you'll experience something, the last time you'll see a friend, the last time you'll walk through your neighborhood, the last time you'll watch a sunset. When you see life through this lens, every moment gains meaning. Every action becomes deliberate. You stop waiting and start living. Now let's take this deeper into daily life. What does moving forward with purpose look like in action? It means not letting the pain of the past dictate your choices today. Committing to personal growth, even when it's uncomfortable. Making decisions based on your values, not fleeting emotions. Letting go of resentment and using that energy to build something meaningful. One exercise to put this into practice. Take out a notebook and write down one area of your life where you feel stuck. Now, instead of focusing on why you're stuck, ask yourself, what is one action I can take today to move forward? Maybe it's sending that email you've been avoiding. Maybe it's making a difficult but necessary decision. Maybe it's simply deciding to stop dwelling on something beyond your control. Moving forward with purpose doesn't mean rushing. It doesn't mean having everything figured out. It simply means choosing to act rather than remaining stagnant. It means directing your energy toward what you can build rather than what you've lost. And once you make this shift, you'll find that letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about freeing yourself to fully embrace what comes next. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your purpose. Throughout this video, we've explored powerful Stoic principles that help us detach from what no longer serves us and move forward with clarity. We've learned that true strength comes from focusing only on what we can control, mastering our inner dialogue, and setting boundaries without guilt. We've seen how reframing pain as a teacher allows us to grow rather than remain stuck in the past. And we've discovered that practicing Amor Fati, loving our fate, helps us embrace every moment, no matter how challenging, as an essential part of our journey. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of Stoicism for letting go. It's about understanding that peace is not found in controlling everything around us, but in mastering how we respond. So how do we apply this wisdom in daily life? Start small. The next time you catch yourself worrying about something outside your control, pause. Remind yourself, is this within my power? If not, let it go. Redirect that energy into something productive, your work, your relationships, or simply being present in the moment. When you practice these principles consistently, you'll notice a shift. Stress will have less of a grip on you. You'll react with more clarity, less emotion. And most importantly, you'll cultivate a sense of peace that comes from within, unshaken by external chaos. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Help spread the wisdom of Stoicism by liking this video and subscribing to Stoic Teachings today. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. What lessons stood out to you the most? And remember, the past does not define you. The future is uncertain. But this moment, right now, is entirely yours to own. Choose to live it with intention. Choose to let go.